Hey everyone, it's Carlo LaRosso from Secrets of Home Theater and HiFi again. Thank you for joining us for this video today. This is basically the second installment in our series of Taste of Audiophile Italy, so to speak. And our previous video, our first one, we focused on our visit to Unison Research and Alare Loudspeaker. This video, we are going to be focusing on our visit to Goldnote. So one of the first things you notice about Goldnote once you visit the headquarters and kind of start getting a sense of what they're about is the pretty drastic change in aesthetics compared to, say, Unison and Opera, where we just visited. Unison and Opera, their components have that sort of more of that classic beauty to them. Woods, tubes, very sort of warm, very kind of comfortable looking in terms of their design aesthetic. Lovely stuff. Goldnote is a good deal different. They're much more say modern looking. Avant-garde would be probably the best description of what I'm trying to get to you in terms of how they design their components. Very kind of a little more out there, a little more ornate, which is kind of not surprising considering we're in Florence. Florence was the cradle of the Renaissance, where so many artistic, scientific, engineering, and architectural developments were basically developed and originated from. And, it's kind of hard not to notice this when you just walk into their headquarters and start walking around. Goldnote is a sort of a very modernist-looking building, to say the least. You walk in, and it's very much like walking into a bit of an art museum. Goldnote's headquarters features artwork from local Italian artists, all hung up and displayed all over the headquarters. The spaces are open, slightly minimalist, I guess, if you want to say that. They have a pool on the first floor, which is completely unexpected. And very fun looking. So we didn't get a chance to try it. None of us got into our skivvies and jumped in the pool, but it is there, which is really unique. Another thing that you end up noticing about Goldnote when you spend a little time here is just from an engineering standpoint, the depth of knowledge they've accumulated over their history. They are one of the few manufacturers that I can think of where you could walk into a Goldnote dealer and completely spec your entire stereo system as Goldnote. From the tip of the cartridge to the cone of the speaker, the entire thing. You could walk out with an entire Goldnote system. And not a lot of companies have that sort of depth, in their bullpen. And the reason that is because, over their 35-year history, Goldnote started out as an ODM manufacturer before they ever got anywhere near making their own branded stuff. They became go-to for a lot of other manufacturers to ask to build various components for them, the guts, and sometimes even, the externals as well. One of the first things they built, or they were known for, was a tone arm. And then it just, their engineering capability just continued to grow from there. And like I said, that level of expertise is very, very difficult to find out there in a single company. Goldnote is also one of the few companies that seems to have found a niche in making half-width audio components. They get it's a very popular line for them, and you don't find too many audio manufacturers making half-width components. In Europe, it's probably a bigger thing because of the smaller living spaces and that sort of stuff. But they make some very, very capable half-width components. Some examples of the interesting half-width components that we ran across here at Goldnote. In Munich, they introduced the new CD10 CD player of all things. It's like looks about the size of an old external, CD-ROM drive, just a little taller and maybe a little deeper, but definitely with that Goldnote aesthetic touch and a really nice quality DAC section in it. They also have an all-in-one called the IS-10, which is basically, a full-on little mini integrated 90 watts per channel, I think, into 8 ohms, with built-in streaming and preamp functions inside it. All you gotta do basically is add speakers, and there you go. But if you want to say, if you own this and you want to upgrade down the road with more power, you can upgrade it with another half-width size monoblock amp addition. So you end up switching the internal amp inside it to mono, add the second monoblock amp, and you got basically sort of almost a full rack width size component when everything's said and done with just a chunk more power. So really interesting. They also announced their new HP10 headphone amplifier that fits that same sort of half-width size component category. It's going to have headphone crossfeed features in it, along with headphone-specific EQ functions, and with enough power from what we were able to see to drive practically anything. So, and not outrageously priced either. These Goldnote makes a point of their half-width line being pretty approachable in terms of the budgets of most committed audiophiles. So really sort of interesting and creative thinking going on here. Goldnote is also very much about being unconventional. When they had us walking around, they pretty much let us in on everything that kind of was going on the production floor and the design floor at the moment. They showed us a prototype of what they described as a integrated amplifier that's going to have 1,000 watts. I mean, who comes up with this stuff? It's nuts, but it's incredibly cool. I mean, the size of the transformer in this thing, it would be enough to choke an elephant. I mean, my God. But there it is. Goldnote is, very much marches to the beat of its own drum in many ways. The third big takeaway I got from our visit to Goldnote was basically the organizational structure of the place. It's a small operation, very small operation, like all three of the manufacturers we visited in Italy are. But it's not set up or organized like a small manufacturer. Everything in Goldnote, from the layout and the design of the headquarters, to basically every part of their design and production chain is pretty fastidiously organized and set up just so. It is probably one of the most efficient looking operations I think I've ever seen. So to give you a little more of a sense of what I'm talking about here, Goldnote has adopted what they call lean production systems and organizations to help improve overall efficiency in their manufacture and production pipeline. And they've also adopted what they call a Six Sigma production strategies to help improve the overall quality of what they produce and the consistency from component to component throughout the entire line. The concept of lean production was originally adopted by Toyota in their engineering and production lines in Japan to, reduce any unnecessary waste along their entire production. Six Sigma strategies, they originated in the late 80s with Motorola, and they were also adopted by General Electric and Honeywell to increase their production consistency and help improve their overall product, the overall quality of their products in the line, which is great stuff. I mean, it's where a large multinational manufacturer operates. So what is this stuff doing in a little tiny Italian audio manufacturer in the middle of Tuscany? It's like, what? But they've incorporated it, and it really works for them. And then, of course, the other part of it is that they've arrived in a position where everything Goldnote needs to produce all of their products, with the odd exception, is located and sourced within 50 miles of their location. So all in Italy, all right there, and all within easy reach. The philosophy extends down to the circuit design of each individual product.
We never accept the compromise of low value about components. So we don't reach for reducing the cost through reducing the quality of the component. We have the minimum is good quality, top quality anyway. So we have to find a different way to save money. So efficiency, as I said at the beginning,
is that way. Yeah.
The matter of designing in the right way helps the efficiency even in this direction. So designing good things helps doing two major important things of production: introducing new features about the experience before, and using the components, premium components, top components, in the good way, not to use too many to have the same results. So again, it's a matter of efficiency. It's not a matter of saving money through removing or using cheap,
finding the cheapest solution for a function. Yeah,
not at all.
And this is Italy. You walk around here, and no one looks like they've been reduced to a number, or look like they are some robot or automaton walking around, mindlessly assembling a product. Everyone is smiles. Everyone is happy. Everyone, they still talk to each other. They still, it's Italy. They still, everyone gets along, and jokes with each other and stuff. But the way they've folded this production method in with their sort of just innate joie de vivre, I guess, if you want to call it that, their passion for living and doing what they do, is really impressive, and different. History, creativity, personality, and that whole sort of Florentine sense of style pretty much, abound all over the place in Goldnote, and it's really reflected in their products when you get a look at them. From the inspiration of their logo, which is this ancient, war horn thing. that you go into battle with. You could skewer oncoming enemies while announcing that you're getting onto the battlefield, which is an interesting way to approach the audio industry. If I'm going to have a little sideline there, to this giant proof of concept active speaker they had in their stairwell as we went up as we went up the stairs. I mean, this amazing, crazy-looking, beautiful thing that that was in their stairwell to their top-tier, multi-layered turntable, which you can get in a variety of finishes that includes hammered gold leaf all over the thing if you want it, to even their just the novel, simple designs of their own component racks. Yes, they even make component racks in Gold Note. It's just the sense of style and creativity and, you know, panache, I guess, if you want to call it that. Very Italian, very sort of Tuscany, and very, very Gold Note. Thanks for watching.